So today I'm going to be attempting to do a color chip repair on the new M5 or new to me M5. As you can see, I'm going to try to repair this one here, and there's another one right there, and I think I saw one other one, but where was it? I think that looks like that might be a very small one right there. So this, I just had this car not polished, but they used the cutting pad on it, and I noticed when I bought this car, I thought that all this was like hard water stains, but it looks like somebody had repaired a bunch of rock chips on this hood. I mean, they're all over the place, and I don't know, it doesn't appear to be like the best job. I mean, it sort of matches, but unfortunately, that's just, there may be no recourse to that other than like, I don't know. I think it's already done, the damage is done, and you know, the repair that was done to it is done, and I don't know if I can do anything about it. But you know, going forward, I'm hoping, I mean, I know that when you do rock chip repair, it's just never gonna be perfect, but I'm gonna actually, maybe on a small one of these that have been repaired, I'm gonna try to fill it in myself and see if I can do a better job, or maybe the paint that came in my kit is a little better. And I'm gonna be using this Dr. ColorChip product. I've heard good things, and in a previous, my first BMW, I tried to do the wet sanding method with the actual, you know, real, you know, using clear coat and everything. It did not come out good. It was really bad. It was incredibly difficult to do, and I just was way in over my head. So this time I decided I'd rather not use the absolute best method, but just get really good results and know that I can handle it, and I'm not going to be it's going to look okay. You know, I'd rather have something that looks okay or good rather than be it flawless and, you know, have to pay, because to be honest, this thing is so peppered with filled-in color chips that I thought were hard water spots that would be polished out. Obviously, this has been he already used the cutting pad on this thing. It kind of like threw my whole process out the window. Honestly, it looks fantastic. Every area of it looks great, other than the whole, you know, anything that's been repaired with, with color chips. But it is what it is. This is a used car, and you kind of get the good with the bad. And I guess I didn't expect it to be flawless, but I didn't expect it to have this many rock chips repaired like this. It's a lot, honestly. It's way more than I thought. Look, I mean, it's very noticeable. Again, it is what it is, but I may try, like this one looks like a new one here. I may try to repair that one and see if the color chip has a slightly better match as far as the color is concerned. But I've never done this before, so this would be like, you know, if I can do this, you can do it, basically. So let's go ahead and set this thing up and see what's in the pack. See what came in the box. I mean, I know there are a lot of videos on this Dr. ColorChip product, but I think this is for the solvent that comes with the pack to wipe it off. It includes, I think I paid like $75 for this kit because I wanted the squeegees that come with it to help with leveling off. And then I got a big thing of Sealact, which is great. And there's my paint, which got to shake up real good. Looks like there's some little paint brushes there and little squeegees and gloves. There's a little squeegee, and I guess those are pipettes, I think, to drip the. I'm not going to use those though. I'm going to use the little brushes, probably the little one. Maybe this yellow guy here. Not that one. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm going to use. And I actually have from years ago when I purchased my kit to do my 328i's paint, I bought I have a few more of those. So if I need more, I can go get them. Obviously, we had some gloves for this as well. Goes without saying, but you know, you should do this in a ventilated space. So I have all the doors open. So because you know these are all pretty strong chemicals, especially that Sealact stuff. And you know, the paint, you know, that's why people wear PPE when doing this kind of stuff. But anyway, let me set up my camera and see if I can get you a front row seat to my potentially good quality repair to my color chips here. So I decided to hold off on the ceramic coating until I could address these issues, potentially, hopefully address some of this stuff, because you can't do color chips fixing and, you know, with a ceramic coating on. It just won't bind to the metal. But let's go ahead and do this. All right, so the first thing you're gonna wanna do is I'm using this panel wipe spray here. It's just G-Tech. This is basically alcohol and water. So just spray it, clean the area. You know, there's been a lot of videos on this stuff, so obviously this has already been like cut and polished, and so I even did some polishing on this to try to clean it up. It actually looked worse before. That looks pretty good. Let that dry for a sec, and I'm gonna shake it up. And you know, since this is a metallic paint, you want to shake it really good and try to get as much flake into the paint as possible. I've seen a lot of videos on doing this, and I've read that it's best to kind of dab it from the top and then squeegee it down. Wow, this paint is matching really good. There you go. Okay. That might be like the end of my first application. And obviously you're gonna get a little more in there, but it does look like a pretty good match. You know, I've seen a lot of videos, and I'm gonna just go ahead and dab in a little more to try to level it off quickly. I can't even see where it is. It's like right there. All right, so now I'm going to let that set for, I'm gonna call it 3 minutes, and then I'm gonna start the Sealact process. All right, so already, I mean, I've let it dry about a minute or so. It's about 60 degrees in here, 59-ish, so I'm thinking 3 minutes should be good enough. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes, and then I'll start the Sealact. It already looks way better. It looks like a really good blend. A really good match. It looks way better than what's on the hood. Yeah, so I may try to dab a little bit of this Dr. ColorChip paint into the areas that were repaired already, because it does look better. But we'll see. This is going to be a weekends long project. I'm going to try to fix as much of the stuff before the car gets polished on Tuesday, because the detailer is going to do a final polishing on the car. And then he's gonna do the ceramic coating, because he just did the cutting compound, the cutting stage. So I sort of delayed the polishing because of this. So hopefully, you know, it's not much longer. All right, so I think I'm about ready to start stripping this paint. It's been about maybe 2.5, 3 minutes, and I'm kind of getting a little anxious. And I know this stuff is gonna work, but I just don't want to wait too long. And I used the little squeegee part to make this flat, because, you know, here it's like in there. So I'm going to try to be very careful and not add any weight. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little here and see if I can. It's definitely coming off. Yeah, but some of the chip paint came with it, so I probably needed to let it set a little longer than I did. I mean, it definitely looks better. I wasn't expecting this to be a one and done kind of situation. And then, yeah, you can see You can see it all now. So I'm gonna let it sit 5 minutes, I think, because it's a bit humid in here. Okay, so let's try that again. I think it's off, and I think I took most of the paint off, which sucks because it actually looked really good. Now we're almost back to square one, so I guess be patient. But I didn't know. I don't want to leave it. I don't want to leave it too long. But as you can see, you got a lot of paint here. Yeah, it sucks. Well, it does remove the paint, but remove too much. So let's try that again. All right, let's try again. This time I'm just gonna dab it into the, just kind of keep it. Okay, I'm gonna try it that method. There's a lot of different ways to skin a cat with this stuff. But I'm just gonna try to do the dabbing method this time, and I'm gonna let it set for 5 minutes this time, and hopefully that is long enough. All right, so that's been 5 minutes now, and I'm just gonna use very light pressure and just I'm not using the squeegee in there. I'm just very light pressure. I'm barely touching. I'm just rubbing. Yeah, it still might not have been long enough, but a lot, you just I don't want to leave any extra paint on this thing. I am not putting any pressure, by the way. Looks pretty good. Let me shine my light on it to see if I can. Don't want to get. Okay, so it does. It's gotten smaller, but this is going to take another step. So instead of boring you with how many, and keep showing you how I'm going to do it, I'm just going to finish it, get it to where I'm happy, and then I'll show you the final results, and I'll tell you how many steps it took me to do it. But it's basically rinse and repeat from what I've showed you. I'm having a lot of trouble with with the paint not drying, so I'm going to hit it a little bit with the heat gun on the slowest setting and see if I can get it to set a little quicker. Yeah, it's just not. I keep stripping out the paint, so I'm going to just give this a shot on the lowest setting that I can do for about 30 seconds. Okay, so I think I've done like 4 or 5, and yeah, you can see it, but it doesn't look as bad as it did. Again, the camera kind of accentuates it, but from the naked eye, it looks a lot better, definitely. I made sure one or two more applications, but for now, I think it looks okay. Even if it stayed like this, I'd be okay with it. I did try to clean up some of this other, and actually, I think I did fill in a little. It might be a slightly better match with the Dr. ColorChip. You can see one there and there. Man, this thing had a lot of rock chips, and I did one over here as well. You can see it, but again, this isn't the same as respraying your hood. It is just protection from rust and stuff. So at the very least, that is the end goal. It is to look a little better and to protect the metal beneath it from rusting. So there's a few other divots that I'm not terribly happy with what they did here, because you can really feel it. Here it's just, I feel like it's just in the little paint chip where the paint went, and the rest is nice. But here it's just there's a lot of extra paint material. You can feel the blob still. So I think that's how these looked, and now it looks better after doing my application. I think the Sealact actually helped remove some of that stuff. From this distance, you can't even see it Let me try, even if I get a little closer at an angle, you can't really see the repair. It's when you kind of like get at a slightly different angle there, you can start seeing it, and yeah, you can see it there, but it honestly looks pretty darn good from a distance. And you know, I'm gonna try to fill this in a little more, these spots here and there. I mean, I've done a bunch of like passes already with the Sealact and using the heat gun and stuff, but we'll see if I can fill these in a little more. I'm still experimenting. Whoever did this did a really bad job, and this is gonna take me a long time to make it look a little better before I have this thing sealed up. All right, so I'm gonna call it. That is the final result. I think that I did about 7 passes. Some passes were sort of like just learning passes where I was just trying to figure out what to do. And I noticed that with the Sealact, it kind of turns the paint matte color, so it makes it stand out more. So in the final coat, I've sort of just, you know, I went really fine with the brush and then just sort of wiped it off with alcohol. And, you know, I honestly think it looks better. You can still feel it, but you would feel it anyway, even if you didn't. Even if you used a Sealact, you would feel it. But honestly, the finish looks much closer to the factory. Such that I bet, you know, you can see it looks a little darker, but honestly, with the Sealact, it just sort of makes it look kind of matte, and it just didn't look as good. So I'm gonna just leave it like that and just let it dry and see how it looks tomorrow. But I think I like that. That's the final result. Over here, I did my first pass and I just used the Sealact. I think what I'm gonna do is I use the first pass and I use the Sealact. As you can see, you can notice it there, but I think I'm kind of coming up with a game plan here, and I can definitely feel it, but it's, you know, you're not gonna be able to perfectly level it. What I'm looking for is it to match the original finish as much as possible, because there's no way I'm going to get rid of the divot. There really is no way. I could be here all day trying to level that up, and it's just never going to go. I'm never going to get it perfect. So I think my end goal is just try to get the finish to look as close to factory as possible. All right, so I actually brought the car out in the sunlight, and you can't even see the repair. I mean, I can feel it with my finger, it's like right there, but you really can't see it. The other area, I tried to do some repairs here in the front here. You know, not so lucky with that. You know, when you actually use the Sealact on the blob of paint, it kind of turns matte color. You know, obviously I know that there's paint in all these little holes here, but you know, it's protected. That's the peace of mind that I have. The guy that's gonna do the, you know, finish polishing the car, he's gonna do another layer. He's gonna polish it now, and he's going to add a layer of ceramic coating. I'm hoping that maybe the ceramic coating will add some gloss to this paint. I doubt it. I don't think it's gonna really help, but you know, it is what it is. Also, there was another chip here that I got pretty good at. I mean, I can kind of maybe make it out a little bit there, but from a distance you can't see it. And also but yeah, overall, Dr. ColorChip was room. You know, if you just want to get protection for your car, as far as a darker colored paint like a black or a gray, it may not look good. Apparently it does a lot better with non-metallic paint colors, but you know, your mileage may vary, but you know, at least you know your car's protected, you know, from rusting and stuff, and that's all I can hope for. But anyway, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.